Today is November 19th, 2021. This is episode 174 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Gladys and Shifter.
And welcome everybody to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Peter. With me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Quinton. Hey, Quinton, how are you?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Not bad.
We got some hype in the chat.
We do have hype in the chat.
Mhm.
With us, there's a lot of hype in the chat. Chili's going Super Saiyan. There's 87 hypes. That's our new hype. We have a new hype emote in the chat. Yep. Oh man. All right. Well, with us, host of podcaster. Ready for it? Podcaster, streamer, father, polite human, Tibiant Saltz. Welcome to Maelstrom Radio. Tibiant, how are you?
Hello, cheers. I am fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Yeah.
I know you drink your whiskey already. I do have mine right here. It's technically a bourbon.
I have some delicious water.
Water's good. I was gonna have whiskey, but I had it before bed. Now
Probably better.
This is after bed.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed up later than I intended to, so
we're still blaming Chili. Everyone's blaming Chili for this.
This is in between sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
pre-sleep and post-sleep.
This is my break from sleep.
Yeah. Honestly,
everyone needs a break.
It's not a bad break. I have a question for you. First, do you have any desk smalls you'd want to show off on the show? You're new, you're on camera, so you have the potential to show off desk smalls if you have any.
I have so many desk smalls, but my desk is upstairs. Unfortunately.
Okay, no worries.
You're kind of
disappointed.
I'm disappointed because whenever desk smalls I come up, I thought, can't wait to show this off, and then I didn't think. What a turnip.
It's okay. You know what that means?
We'll have to have you back.
Now we'll have to have you back so you can show off your desk smalls.
I'll post them in Discord.
It's a brilliant marketing strategy. You don't have your desk smalls, so you have to come back
to show your desk smalls.
There's bookcase smalls behind me.
That's a first, honestly. So hey, round of applause. You get first ever on the show.
So it's not a Zoom screen?
I could zoom in. I have a camera.
He's replaced his background with his own bookshelf.
Yeah. I don't want to disturb the ironing board where my camera is.
The professional podcast studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chili didn't. We didn't do the smalls with Chili last week. We'll have to have you back again, Chili.
Yeah, now Chili has to come back. See, now that's how we get people.
You were all prepared too.
Chili had the poop hat.
Always.
He did, but remember he had a desk small he wanted to show off.
He had head smalls. So
when I met up with Chili, like he brought his backpack and all there was in there was the poop hat. That's all he had.
Yeah, that about tracks.
Like he's transporting like museum material. He's got it in like a special case, and he opens it, and gold light comes out.
Well, you don't want it to go everywhere.
No. It's like in the pressure kept case that they keep the Declaration of Independence in. Anyway, let's find out what we've been up to this week. Tibiant, would you like to tell us what you've been up to this week, gaming or otherwise?
Okay. Gaming seems a logical place to start. On what we did, I did a daytime stream for me, which is rare, and I finally unlocked the Amaro minion, the Amaro hatchling, which Susan soft challenged me to do back in October, I think it was. And then on Monday evening, we went into E12S for the first time. That was an experience.
Didn't say it was good, just an experience.
Yeah. Well, I got my first ever Savage clear the other week. We did E9S with my FC because I've never done Savage before. So we got through E9S, that was an experience too. It was very clippable. All of our attempts are very clippable. So we'll see how it goes. And other than that, not much.
All right.
I've never cleared a Savage at level, so
Are you looking
looking
at
forward to it.
Are you looking at doing Savage rating at level in Endwalker, Tibiant?
Yeah. So my main was on light on the light data center, and I moved over to the Chaos data center because I got invited to Dad TV Gareth's FC. So I hopped over, and all of a sudden I was playing the game with other people, which I've never really done before. That's just completely changed the experience for me. So I've somehow winded up in a static who eventually wants to clear UCOB.
You went from no people to like full, like we're going ultimates, baby.
Yeah, we went into coils just for memes, and we lasted what 14-15 seconds. It was pretty good. Yeah, but it's good. But yeah, I'm planning on raiding. I'm quite excited, to be honest. It's a brand new experience, so that's all I want out of a game.
I mean, you lasted.
Well, coming up is Pandemonium, so
yeah, you lasted 15 seconds, which means you just have to get the other 14 minutes 45 seconds down, and you got to clear, honestly.
Yeah, we're basically done, right?
Yeah, basically. Quinton, what have you been up to this week besides work?
Work. I actually played a little bit of Kana again earlier this week and got through the first boss, and then figured out that the next thing that I want to do, or I cleared one area after that, and figured out that if I went into the next area, I'd want to 100% it. So I stopped because I wanted to sleep that night. And then I kind of did a little bit around in Final Fantasy again this week. Slowly getting my Dragoon up, trying to get prepared for Endwalker. We had some runs with Diamond Weapon with our static on the last weekend, which is pretty fun. We are pretty good at everything except for the phase transition. And once we get through that phase transition, we'll probably be able to clear it, but we're not good with lines.
Yeah.
Or AoEs.
It's we're getting there though, because we keep making small.
It's a work in progress.
It's a small progress thing, but we're getting it. So
it's slow. We'll get it. Zigs and zags. Yep, zigs and zags.
Zigs and zags.
And then yesterday we got a group together for our stream and we did maps. We had a lovely map night, and we met a golden beaver.
Yeah, which I now own. I now own a golden.
Which you now own.
I own a golden beaver. So.
We did a whole bunch of like the guaranteed portal maps, and the whole night we didn't have luck to actually like clear any of them. And the final pull we did, we actually got a full clear of that and managed to get probably around like what 500,000 gil overall. A couple minions and a few crafting materials. So it was a pretty good haul overall.
Good haul,
yeah.
Chili's right at Gold Beaver on his map. Chili was about to ask me to pay it, but I took that thing out of my bag and used it. So look, there was no time to pay me any sort of gil to get the Gold Beaver. So
didn't Chili say that he was going to get called a nickname last night? Someone called Curry. Were they going to call him something? I can't remember what it was.
Oh, you mean? I mean,
I don't recall.
Was someone called Curry? So they were going to call him Daddy. There you
go. Zaddy.
Oh, yeah. Curry was calling him Daddy.
Zaddy Chili.
And Zaddy later.
Yeah. Well, let's get through the news and then talk to Tibiant, which is really why we're all here. So, Activision CEO Bobby Kotick knew for years about the sexual misconduct allegations, and the ABK employees are rallying together to get Bobby Kotick removed. And the shareholders are also pushing for the two senior um,
Board members.
board members and Kotick to be removed. If not now, by next June when they do their rounds of voting, the shareholders, if it doesn't happen now, it will happen by next June. But you know, much like anything else, a lot of damage can be done within 6 months. So let's hope for sooner rather than later. Xbox head Phil Spencer has voiced his belief that older games should be preserved, adding to that he hopes that the gaming industry can work on legal emulation to promote this. I like Phil Spencer. I don't know if I said this before on the show, but I really like Phil Spencer. I really do believe he stands for gaming. He's one of those people that really truly like he'll make money for the company. That I know that's the goal. That's part of his job, but he really does care about gaming as a whole. He's a gamer himself. He loves gaming. Like, it's cool to see someone like that in a position that could kind of make these kind of changes and make these statements and hopefully help push that. OBS versus Streamlabs OBS. Boy, did Streamlabs do a lot of backpedaling this week.
You could say that was a little slobby.
Oh boy. I don't even have it on the soundboard, so I can't even play it because I kept my promise to you. I don't have sloppy on the soundboard. And the one time like we could have used it, I don't have it. So currently we're still using it here on the show. We are, I think we've kind of settled on what we're going to change to.
We're within 48 hours of not having it on our system anymore.
Yeah. That's so by next week, Streamlabs will no longer be used here on Maelstrom Radio. We just can't support a company that's one, ignoring an open source, not so much for their GPL license, but for the trademark, which OBS does have. And then not only for that, they copied Lightstream, they copied Elgato. I thought when Elgato came into the ring, like, yeah, we know the feels. I was like, oh no.
That was a whole thing.
Oh
yeah, my last stream yesterday was the last time I'll be using Streamlabs. So
Stream Elements looks pretty good.
For anyone who's interested, there's a lot of tools to switch over to something else. There are people out there. Speaking of, there are people out there that are working on extra plugins and stuff to help if there's something that's missing from Streamlabs or that's in Streamlabs that's nowhere else. Give it a shout out. People are working on alternatives. Not even 15 minutes ago, because it's 11 minutes on my Twitter over here, Stream Elements tweeted out to highlight that our OBS.live is a plugin. We are collaborating with the OBS team to update the name, so expect a new one soon in the weeks ahead. So Streamlabs is already on top of things and is getting their stuff renamed to make sure it's all good. They've been pretty good about making sure that Stream Elements. They've been pretty good about enforcing that they're a plugin. They're not affiliated with OBS. They've given back and they help with OBS as well. But they've kind of been taking a much different approach. And this will kind of, I'm assuming that they're going to switch it to something like SE plugin or something along the lines with their other stuff that they do.
Yeah. I'm also super proud. A lot of our Team Whisker folks went in and we kind of discussed it. I had to explain a little bit why things happened the way they did, because I know a lot of our fellow Team Whisker folks are from across the pond. So American trademark law is very messy. And so I'm proud. Like, a lot of them are like, I made the switch, and if you need help switching, please, I will share guides. It's super easy. It does not take much time.
Yep.
There's YouTube videos. It does not. It takes all of 5 minutes. You can easily switch. So
that a challenge.
And it'll be faster.
Yeah, that is, yes, it is a challenge. I challenge everybody. Challenge yourself. Do something good. Don't support
challenge
jerks.
Accepted.
Don't support jerks.
I've already switched everything over. I've been using non-Streamlabs stuff for like months.
Yeah. Also Streamlabs is Streamlabs also eats too much of your process power. Like, your streams will be so much smoother and better and use less resources. Just a heads up, just so you know. The Game Awards are happening Thursday, December 9th. And you can go vote for Final Fantasy 14. That's why that's here. So they're on for best supported game, I believe, by a community. And I think best ongoing game as well, like best
Yeah.
So go vote. They haven't won ever. Like every time I watch the Game Awards and Final Fantasy pops up, they're just like, and it's like Fortnite, and I'm like, damn. So go vote for Final Fantasy 14. Make them get them a win. And last but not least, speaking of Final Fantasy 14, the illustrated countdown to Endwalker has begun. Because we were supposed to be playing Endwalker today, which is, as sad as it is, I completely understand wanting the game to be right. And again, we said it last episode, we'll say it again this episode. We'd rather the game be in a complete state and up to the standard that Yoshi P wants. And I know sometimes pride gets in the way of making something, but it's going to launch and it's going to be smooth.
His pride's done good for us so far. So
yeah, so with that, Tibiant, welcome to Maelstrom Radio. We gotta know.
Well, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit first?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We want to know who you are. Who are you, and why did you wander on this show?
I am Tibiant Saltz. I am also called Matthew. That's my real name.
Oh.
Who am I? I guess I'm a streamer-ish. I started streaming about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because of COVID, like the whole lockdown thing, it gave me more time. I mean, I never got the luxury of working from home, or not luxury, depending on your perspective. But it just made me want to do more of the things I wanted to do, with the little kind of spare time I had. And I thought I'd give streaming a go. Now, my main driver for it was I kind of wanted that nostalgia you got when you were a kid and you were around at your friend's house and you'd sit and play a game and you'd just chat about what was going on and you'd theory craft and you'd monologue about what you were doing. And I wanted to try and recreate that because we're all chasing after his youth, right? And yeah, that's basically it.
Have you found it?
I'm still looking. I'm still looking.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint. But it's been a heck of a journey. Like it's been quite a whirlwind. It wasn't long after that I thought maybe I could do a podcast. And now I'm doing that as well. So
that can't be from like your childhood, like trying to bring back something, unless you had a completely different childhood than most I've heard of.
No.
Where did the podcasting kind of come from?
That came from the fact that I used to work night shifts.
Mm-hmm.
In a hospital. So there was kind of a lot of, it wasn't downtime, but it was kind of monotonous work sometimes. So I'd run out of things to do. Like you need something to kind of keep you going mentally. So I started off listening to podcasts, and then that was it. I thought, oh, I can do this. Because I think podcasts is a really strange medium. How it's quite almost intimate in the sense that you feel like you listen to the same ones every week or every 2 weeks, and you feel like you really know the hosts, and you feel like you're their friends, and you feel like you're part of it, even though you're just one of the thousands, hundreds, millions of listeners.
You overestimate a lot of podcasts.
Yes, I know. I don't know. There are tens of us. Tens.
Yes, tens.
But I just wanted to kind of leave my mark, I guess.
I mean, I get it. Like, there is something to be said about like how, like when FFXIV Light Party was here, right? And Dylan purposely didn't really wanted her other 3 co-hosts to come on here and talk and talk about the show and everything. And then by listening to them, they were all like, man, I'm nervous. We were like, you guys are the big dogs. I'm like, no, we're not. What are you talking about? But I often and this isn't like a pat on the back, but I don't think Quinton and I think about it as a, like, other people like will look up or listen to us and be like, that is my source for entertainment. And I don't think we often think about that. Like, we really don't.
Or like, honestly, I
You
think there's two people that listen to us for entertainment. And that's Chili and Susan.
Well,
well,
Susan's
well,
forced.
the-
She produces. She's like getting. She's like donating her time to a charity.
I think it's more like community service, but
There you go.
forced
Yeah,
community service.
forced community service. We don't force Susan to be here, by the way. Nobody forces Susan to be here. It's a living. Susan.
it's like a Flintstone.
We also don't pay our
there.
producer, so it's
Yeah.
not a very good living.
That's the worst living.
No, but I think that's kind of what everyone. I don't know if it's unique to this particular community of podcasts, but when I was starting out, like I was like just a fan, just someone who watched, and I was kind of asking you guys for advice, or I mean, Chili was the first person I reached out to. Unsurprisingly, I think that's the case for a lot of people.
It's included.
And you kind of, it was like, oh yeah, I'm just one of you guys, you know. You don't need to be nervous talking to me. I was like, yeah, but you're famous on the internet, you know. And you kind of don't realize the reach that you have sometimes. I don't think, because it's kind of so. I guess it's quite normal for you guys now doing podcasting. This. Whereas to me, starting out, it's all just so big and overwhelming, you know. It's
I mean, I've been doing it. Quinton and I have both worked on podcasts and in different areas of podcasting. Like, Quinton did a lot of stuff behind scenes for various podcasts. Starting with Rift, right? There was in the podcast prior to the Rift.
That was the first one I worked on.
And then I did I mean, I listened to, much like you, I listened to a lot of WoW podcasts back in the day, a lot of them. So, and I used to call in to one vent chat. Fen came on our show and did an interview with me. And so when I had a chance to do a podcast about EverQuest Next, I jumped on board with Evercast. And you know, you don't know what you're gonna what's gonna happen, right? When you turn on the microphones and cameras at that time, which, you know, we said, well, we'll do Twitch. That's new, right? Let's get on that train. And then where it leads,
Custom
right?
TV.
Yeah, like we talked a little bit about this on Monday here. You know, I kind of dove into like how Maelstrom Radio is really like a side project for me, and like saying, oh, hey, you want to do, you know, asking Quinton like, hey, do you want to do Maelstrom Radio? It's gonna be my side thing from Loot Table, and now it's our main thing. This is what we do. Loot Table no longer exists. That's not a thing that, you know, I have access to everything. I have access to all that stuff, but it will not be coming.
I think this is the longest running podcast too now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the longest running. And it's also the one I think I've had the most fun doing. So
As you running it.
yeah, that also true.
That helps.
It also helps that you and I are kind of on the same page with things. Like, we also have the same kind of sense of humor and like goals with like our community. Like, we've talked about this before, but still, like, and it's good for that. Like, and you Tibiant have a co-host as well. Your best friend.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. So, oh, sorry, surprise cat.
I saw the tail.
Well, I have one right here too.
There you go.
Aw.
This is Tosca.
Aw.
This is not my co-host.
Introducing your co-host.
This is Beth.
Mine's purring. Purring's really, really loud on this one right now.
Oh, this is a silent purrer. This one. It's his sister that's the loud one. She sounds like a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah, she's loud.
Yeah. So no, don't go on the remote. Don't go on the remote. There we go. Sorry. My co-host Beth. So I used to work with Beth back in my night shift days, and we hit it off quite quickly because we had a lot in common, mainly video games and random Netflix shows. I think we first started talking about is it Over the Garden Wall on Netflix? Have you seen that?
Is that on Netflix? I still haven't seen that.
It might be Netflix UK, but I'm not sure if it's on Netflix.
Ah, that would make sense.
She was just kind of humming potatoes and molasses to herself, and that's kind of what started the conversation. So we we got chatting and we became fast friends. And then when I left the job for the one I'm doing now, we didn't see each other very often. So we'd keep in touch through WhatsApp and things like that. But we always have such a good time when we're together. So I thought, you know what? Let's try and do something. So I finally got her to play Final Fantasy XIV, which it took a while. It took a while because, you know,
I
MMOs are
understand
quite
that.
a big commitment, right?
It is. It's
Yeah,
you're asking someone like, hey,
yeah,
do you have like a couple of 100 hours to dedicate, and then maybe like
yeah,
like 12, $13 a month, and also
yeah,
once you're hooked, maybe like at least 10 years worth.
yeah. Well, that's it. I mean,
But
the thing is as well, she's super busy. She's recently moved house, and all sorts of other stuff going on in life. So she's kind of slowly making her way through the story. I think where's she up to? Moon Breeder just died in the
Oh,
story. Yeah, yeah,
2.4,
yeah,
2.4.
yeah. So big things are happening soon. Um, but yeah, I said desperately because I really at this point was really desperate to kind of. I had this kind of just sort of casual brand idea, and that's all it
Mhm.
was, kind of floating about. Um, and I couldn't believe it when she said yes to co-hosting with me. So I kind of went with that, and I'm going to keep doing this as long as she wants to do it, and then when she doesn't want to do it, which I hope is never, um, I think I'll hopefully keep going. But yeah, so the main thing is we get to speak to each other at least once every 2 weeks, and it's really nice because we never had that before. When lockdown first started, we went 7 months without speaking sometimes, which is a shame when you're close friends with someone.
it's funny. I know Quentin smiled a lot through that because I think it kind of reminds him of us in this
Just a little bit.
just a little bit, like
We've gone through this a few times.
asking him to play the game and then asking him to do the podcast and
Mm.
like Quentin's never lived close to me. He's he's lived in Canada, now he lives in California, so but this is how we connect and talk, and it's something we look forward to, like Thursdays and Fridays. We look forward to
We
doing
did
this.
meet in Vegas once.
That we did twice actually.
Twice?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did both of
We
the
did both.
fan fests.
We did both. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All fan fest just kind of merged into one.
all FanFest, yeah. So on Just
Someday.
Sort of Casual,
Mhm.
you so Beth is your co-host, but you are, as Beth goes through the story, you're explaining the lore of the story elements and the world of Eorzea to her. Uh, Now, are you finding that she comes with just naturally asking you like really great questions, or does she like jot things down as she plays the game and then brings these things to you, or is it like when she gets to a certain part, do you kind of explain like the nuances of things?
So it's kind of both. So it is very like casual. Is the podcast like we just kind
Sort
of
of.
I fit sort of
So-
yeah. Uh, we could do this all day. Um, uh, we the way it started out was I wanted to have a rigid plan and I want to talk about this today, and you will consume this information and you will learn it. Um, and it just quickly turned into just me and Beth chatting like we do. And so now what we do is I have a rough idea of what I want to talk about. Like I've done the 3 starting city states and their kind of history and origin. Um, and then I will discuss any questions that she has. So I'll ask her what she's done at the beginning. At the beginning of the podcast, I'll ask her what you've been doing in Final Fantasy this week. And if she turns around to me and says, "I haven't really had time," then I will go off on what I've kind of prepared. And if she's got a lot to say, then we'll just kind of talk about that all episode. Um, and then one of the last ones we did, she came with notes, and I was really proud. She goes, "I have questions," so we so but it's hard finding the balance because I don't want to spoil it. And there's some things that are relevant to say something that happens in 2.4 or like the Crystal Tower, for example. I wanted to talk about the Void, but that's not really been mentioned yet in
Third
any.
grade.
And I could talk about the Void, but then I'd kind of be spoiling what she's going to learn naturally at that point in the story, so I don't want to get ahead. So finding that balance is kind of the trickiest thing. And the fact that I've only got the second lore book, not the first one, is a pain.
Yeah.
Have you ever like tried to throw her off?
I
Like, make a big deal about something very, very minor, or like just give her completely wrong information about something, or
well, with Moonbreeder's a good example. Like I spoke about her as if she was still relevant.
yeah, that hurts.
So that hit. But yeah, there's bits coming up. I don't want to spoil in case she listens to this. But there's
Yeah, we
bits
won't
coming
tell
up.
her about all the horrific things that are going to be coming up shortly.
Yeah, I just said this game can get dark.
I always describe it as this is like Game of Thrones if Game of Thrones was actually bad.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's been nearly a month since we've last done a podcast with Beth, so I'm looking forward to that. We're doing we're going to be taking her through Crystal Tower soon, so she's got a lot to do. So
will that be your 8th episode then, or
maybe
you just came out with your 7th one?
Yes, yeah, that was yesterday. And we're going to run Crystal Tower on the 26th.
Okay.
So, but it depends if we get a chance to record before or after, because that's why we don't go live every week recording it, because her schedule's all over the place. So it depends. Sometimes we'll record 2 episodes in 1 week and then just release them 2 weeks later. So
Smart.
Scheduling is always a difficult.
It's awful.
I do that for a different podcast.
Yeah.
We bank them and then release them.
Yeah.
Earlier in chat, when your cat was there, Susan did say just sort of cat shul.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm just saying
Side
it
podcast.
just in case that is the name of this podcast episode. So
Mine got really bitey, so he got kicked out.
So
mine do that, luckily.
Ash wobbles and destroys things. So
like my children.
Ash is kind of like a child, yeah. So when Beth isn't there, you invite your wife on to do like kind of like not mainline episodes, but kind of like these bonus episodes where you're going through and you've been reading the kind of like these the bonus stories that are like I would say the in between content between the expansions. So how did that come about? Was it just like a scheduling thing? You wanted to put something out while?
So from the get-go, we knew that weekly wasn't going to be possible with Beth. And so we released this first episode, and I just kind of got the bug. Like, I really, really enjoy podcasting. Like, I wanted an excuse to do more. And my wife, Chloe, she's not a gamer. She's never played video games. She's surprisingly tolerant of me doing so. But she likes reading. She loves books. She loves literature. I mean, she's up to like 80 books this year, which is, I think, obscene. And so I thought, well, I really like these Tales from stories. I've read them once or twice. But you can read. You can read well. Like I can't. If I read a passage out loud, it's a mess. So I got her to do the narration, and I get to have fun doing voices. And yeah, so it's just something to do every other week. But we finished the first kind of set now, and I don't know what we're gonna do. Like,
would you be willing to go back?
Oh.
I was gonna say we were both in the same thought. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you be thinking about going back and doing the other Tales from?
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do those, but we want to do them when they're relevant to where Beth is.
Okay.
Just the ones we've just done, the ones from ARR, Tales from the Calamity.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I don't know what the next set is, because when I came back to the game after the initial ARR, it was about a month or 2 before Shadowbringers. So I kind of missed all the ones in between.
No, I was gonna say, have you looked into the body of writing within the game itself? There are a number of in-game books.
Oh, really? No, I
Mhm.
see. You see, this is another thing. Is I am fascinated with the lore of the game, but I don't want people to confuse me with a lore expert because I am not that. I just really enjoy it, so I consume as much as I can, but I don't necessarily remember it all. So like when
Same.
I we did the episode, we did the origin of Gridania and learn about
Mhm.
Gelmora. Like I got a whole new appreciation for wandering around the Shroud and looking for all the locations and the kind of Gelmora ruins and things like that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of what it's the one of the other kind of little bonuses for doing my podcast is I'm rediscovering the game as well.
You get
Um,
to kind of see it through a different lens. You already know all the story, what's going on,
yeah,
and the history since the game began. But now you get to look back again with that context that you've
yeah,
gained and be like, oh, that's it.
yeah,
Kind of like going
exactly.
back at like 50, 60 and going through the deep dungeon, Palace of the Dead
Hmm.
quest line or
Yeah,
the Temptar Deepcroft Hard quest line, and it's like, oh, here's these adventurers, and there's the
yeah,
whole storyline behind it, and like that is really creepy, but
yeah,
like
yeah.
you kind of
Quite
don't.
horrifying. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, then there's like the whole side piece of content where she appears in random cities. Like,
yeah. I've
if
still
you're
not
not
seen
paying
that.
attention,
I've not come across that yet.
It's
And I have
so
I
looked
don't
for
think
it.
I've
rare.
seen her yet. But
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
so rare. So I've only seen it
Mm.
once in Gridania by like
Mhm.
the little playset area. And it
Mm.
was only by mistake because I was like, "Oh, there's an NPC over there." And then it disappeared. I'm like, "What the hell?" And I thought the game was broken until I
The
later found
glitch.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, "Oh, the
I
game
remember
just
that.
glitched." And then I was just like, "Oh, that's supposed to."
Oh, I just saw.
Yeah.
Oh
I was
no.
like,
Oh,
"Oh,
oh
oh
no.
no, oh
Oh
no."
no. 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 No.
Game's haunted. Game's haunted.
Games haunted. Undo. Uninstall.
Have you ever thought about um now that you're kind of taking a pause on Tales from, have you ever thought about taking like some of the longer passages or finding something interesting in the lore book itself and then having your wife read that and then kind of discussing it, like getting her thoughts on like what it might mean as a non-gamer,
Yeah.
because I think it would be fascinating.
You are there, Quinton.
Oh no. As soon as Peter said you consider taking any longer passages and discussing them, my first thought was Gaius monologue.
I've actually got my daughter to say the Praetorium line. That was pretty funny.
Such devastation!
Yeah.
This was not my intent.
I was thinking of getting that as like a sound drop for my podcast, but my daughter's saying it instead.
That would be
So
great.
yeah, I thought so. I'm getting a green screen, so I'm gonna I'm gonna get them to kind of act out a little bit. So I think they'll think that's hilarious. An excuse for me to play and for them to play as well. But back to answering your question, the we are going to look through the law book together. That is something that's kind of on the horizon. But I don't have a copy of the first one yet, so I know there's
Mm.
you can acquire it through various illicit means on the internet. But reading off a screen just doesn't have the same effect, you know.
Mhm.
I agree. Also, Maelstrom Radio does not condone the use of the internet for illicit acts.
No. Yeah. Oh, have I broken the show? I'm sorry. Quick, cut that
No.
out. Cut that out.
Susan's now such. Oh no, yeah. Susan had to do a call back to the beginning of this month with such hibernation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really was. You know what?
This was not my
It
intention!
really wasn't. So long.
Yeah, I think even Chloe knows all those lines because of when I was leveling up all my classes to 80. I did the Praetorium a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like every single day, it was like, I'm just gonna do my Praetorium run before we watch MasterChef. Is that all right? You know?
Well, that is the Netflix run.
Yeah,
It-
exactly.
You
it
put it
really
on and you
is.
start watching something else.
Hmm.
Listen, I got through a lot of Shippuden doing Praetorian runs.
Yeah. I managed to die on the Praetorium on the. Do you know the bit with the Ultima weapon hands that come out of the tanks? Well, I ran up to it
Yep,
too many
yep.
times in my Magitech armor, and it killed me. I couldn't believe. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
even know
does
you could
that.
die there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I've ever heard of
It's
somebody die.
percentage-based damage.
It happened on one of my first streams. I couldn't believe it. I died on Praetorium.
Oh, I would have clipped that. I would have been like, look at this. You know, you can do this.
I've had recently in Praetorium 2 rubber banding and just like lag. I was running through and clicking through the teleporters at the beginning, and I made it through the teleporter, and then I walked like 5 feet, and then suddenly my character was just dead. There was no enemies around.
Oh well.
Yeah. I figured I died before I teleported, and it was just latency or something, but
I'd like to go through all the old
Fun
dungeons
times.
and actually do the mechanics because I've never done them.
minimum item level. Challenging.
We did a minimum item level of Circus Tower. That was an experience.
Yep, that would be fun.
Yeah, it was. Is it Skiller? Is that how you pronounce the name? Skiller? The
Yeah,
dog
the second one with the
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That was horrifying. So
fun.
So for people listening, Quinton held up 2 of his hands as if acting as
the dog
the dog heads. The lore for that is so creepy. The lore for that. It's so dark.
I can't remember the names now, but they just experimented on
Uh-huh.
and I didn't, and just thought,
Zonde was so messed up.
It was nuts.
Nuts. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes, Susan, that is Circus Tower.
Yes.
This is going to be our one of our episodes. Is all the Crystal Tower stuff, but it just might be 8 or 9 depending on when we get through it.
There's a lot to unpack with there, so you could almost make 2 full episodes out of it anyway.
Yeah, you really could. Perfect. You got your next 2 episodes locked up.
Yes, Susan, those enemies are in Circus Tower.
They really are.
So they're with
they're with
performer.
Oh, dude,
Curtain Call guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got the coolest hat in game.
Yeah. See, I know all the names. I'm a lore expert, me.
That's not the coolest name in the whole game. Or coolest hat, sorry. You've got the coolest hat.
I've definitely got the coolest hat.
I have the tallest
Peter's got the coolest hat.
I have the tallest hat.
It's Odin's. Odin has the best hat in the game.
That doesn't like double the size of a Lalafell.
It does.
Yeah, but I don't have that hat.
Yeah, but it's the helm of leadership. So
helm of leadership.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Jiggle hat.
Oh, there's Jiggle hat. I also have that.
King Slime hat.
That's the one from Dragon
Quest. Yeah.
It's great.
That's the one that eats hamburgers.
Puff puff.
Anyways, this isn't a Team Fortress 2 podcast. We don't have to talk about hats all the time.
Oh man.
I mean, I do like hats, but okay.
So, with the nature of your show being like sitting down with Beth, sitting down with your wife, and even sitting down with other content creators in the space, is there any other? Because you like to keep things casual. I mean, are you thinking about exploring any other sort of ideas just to see what works or what you'll be happy with?
It's just I just kind of want it to evolve naturally. See, my goal above all else is I like talking to people, and I'm not very. I mean, better that I'm obviously improved greatly, but I was always kind of a bit self-conscious with how I fumble over my words sometimes. Like I can't get my words out. I can't articulate my thoughts very well. Like the art of monologuing that kind of comes along with streaming. That's a skill in itself, I think. And so, I'd love to think I'd do 50, 100, 150 episodes. I can't imagine getting to that mark. Like I say, I've done 7 episodes, but I suppose that's technically not true with all the 0.5 ones in the middle.
You got to count all those too. They also count.
Yeah. I don't think they do, but I guess officially they do. But yeah, I'd like to do all sorts, like fighting my own insecurities is the hardest part of this whole thing in the terms of why would I include this? Other people do it better. And then people flip it around and say, well, your opinion is as valid as anybody else's, which is 100% true. But you kind of don't follow the advice that you would give to someone else often. But like having guests on yesterday, that was a brand new experience for me. That like I reached out to Peter for some advice on kind of how to, wade through that kind of chaos that was going on. Like I might have looked calm on the stream, but I was definitely not calm. Frantically going through notes like, oh my god, I've run out of things to say. What do I do? My mind's just kind of going nuts, basically.
It can happen. It is a
lot more often than you would expect.
Yeah, it is. And like something like something you pointed out to me is that you go back to the so you want to be a Final Fantasy 14 podcaster, which is on our YouTube page, and you should go check it out if you want to be a Final Fantasy 14 podcaster. Shameless promotion. Like something you said is that you go back there and then you use it to calm yourself. So I didn't ask you, because I wanted to save it for the show. What section do you listen to that helps you like center yourself to go back into like podcasting and streaming?
Yeah. So what it is it's just it's the segment. It's when you're the whole bit in it's kind of the bulk of it really, but the bit in the middle where you're kind of going through all the all the technical side of it and all the things that you need. It reminds me of the feeling I got when I was inspired to do it in the first place. Because I think we all do it really. We're always kind of fighting our own, trying to prove our own worth to ourselves. Like you've got your fans out there and you've got your followers, you've got your community, and they will always say, "Oh no, you keep doing it. You're doing a great job." But convincing yourself that's the hardest bit. So I tend to feed off that kind of
positive reinforcement.
Yeah, exactly. but even if it's kind of you're doing it to yourself by reliving a memory of some kind, which in my case would be kind of watching that and remembering. Like sometimes I'll scroll back on my chat history with like when I first reached out to Chile about starting streaming, and I can remember like where I was. Like I was sat in the car park at work waiting for the shuttle bus to take me to the bus station, and I was kind of getting myself kind of worked up. Like I can't do streaming; it's too much. Why would anyone want to watch me? And then you kind of look back at what you were saying, and you think, stop being an idiot. just get over yourself and do it. You know what I mean?
It happens.
Oh yeah, we're all just tangled messes of our own neuroses. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good summary.
Yeah,
that's the new podcast. Here's your new side podcast, Tangled Neuroses. No, it's
Screamo band.
For real. One, I'm happy that something I did helps you. It's not often I'll be able to ever say that to somebody, but I'm happy something I did help somebody.
More than you appreciate.
And I'm happy that it got you to doing a show. Like it helps you produce your show. And it really was the goal for myself and Chili was like even if like 3 people start shows, that'd be cool. Like, but a lot of people started shows and it was great. Like a lot of people went out and started podcasts. And they were all different, and that's the coolest part. Like everybody had a unique idea, and it was so cool to see.
Well,
everyone always thinks. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. More different to Warriors of Lust, so
true. I was gonna say you always think like someone's already done this before. Why would they come and listen to me? You even brought it up earlier today, and then you go something like that. Like literally, there was a bunch of people that started podcasts, and every single one is different. Like, sure, there might be some similarities. Like we're all talking on the internet to people, and like, but everyone's different.
Yeah.
Like it's a different. Again, Warriors of Lust completely different from everyone else for many, many reasons. Mm-hmm. Mostly because they're one of the few podcasts that you have to wear headphones in order to listen to. But like
Yeah.
like everyone has that different opinion to that different experience to bring and to give that different take on things.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I keep my hair long, so I can listen at work.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, I'll have to. It's my job. We have analyzers that are constantly just humming in the background, and I've got to just get the din away. So you guys help with that too.
Maelstrom Radio helps get the din away.
Yeah.
Honestly,
New
that's
tagline for 2022.
That's honestly helps drown out the background noise of the servers.
We are coming up another like month and a bit, and we're gonna have to come up with a 2022 slogan. Back to Inspirobot.
Thanks, Inspirobot. So, Tibiant, I need to know. So where do you see your show going? Like you're I know you're just releasing, your episodes. You're still like not at like officially at episode 10, even though because you have these 0.5 episodes. So like where do you see yourself at episode 100, or where do you envision the show going by episode 100?
So I hope to keep pace with Beth, so she gets through the story. I think that could well easily go into 100 episodes. I think there's so much content in this game. Like even just we could spend a whole episode just doing the Tamtara Hard story. That's one dungeon. There's plenty of stuff out there. I hope to get to a point where I can discuss current events as they happen. I've not kind of figured how that's going to work yet, because I'm not going to be able to discuss the Endwalker story, for example, when that comes out with people. Because with Beth, because she's not going to be there. So that's kind of, I'd like the show to get to a point where we can do a bit of theory crafting and things like that. But yeah, I don't know if I've answered the question really. I've just kind of rambled a bit, which is my style.
I mean,
Fair enough.
It's a good concept to have, right? Like you get to do something I think a lot of podcasts take for granted. Like we could just sit back and be like, all right, we're going to talk about the story, right? But you are reliving the story through Beth, and you get to like share the lore and kind of and like, again, you're not a lore expert, but you do get to take and like deep dive yourself, and it helps you learn the lore and then share that with Beth.
That's precisely it. That's the big one of the biggest joys I get out of it is I get to sit and read through it all and learn little bits myself. Coincidentally, they released a new Tales in the Tales from the Twilight. Is that the latest one? About Carney Senna's staff Maelstrom. I think you touched on that a few episodes ago. And a few weeks before that, we were reading through that section in the law book, and you just learn these little tiny things that you never even think about. It's just, and then every time I see that now, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that from the, and it's just so fulfilling just to kind of add richness to this game. That's what I love about it, world building in any kind of fantasy. That's the bit that I enjoy the most.
I do have to say that I'm looking forward to when Beth enters Shadowbringers, because I really want to see and hear the lore discussion when you hit that quest.
Yes, that quest.
That quest. Everybody knows about that quest.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Yeah. I remember when I first did that, my wife was in the room and she's like, "What the hell is happening?" Because she'll be sat reading a book and then she's kind of look up.
Welcome to Shadowbringers.
Yeah. No, that's not great for the audio listeners there. But,
I would have been that person. Like, did your book do that? You should play.
Oh, Full Metal Alchemist up in here.
Oh no. There's people that just threw their headsets across their office right now in anger. They're just mad. Oh boy. Well, sweet mercy. Tibiant, do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight? Is there anything else you want to share with us, or?
That's a high pressure question. Is that?
No.
It's a really high pressure question. No.
No, fair, fair. Honestly,
High pressure question, simple answer.
Yeah.
No, it's really hard when you're put on the spot, isn't it?
Always.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm a blabbermouth.
That's the advantage
so
of running the
That was,
podcast.
that's one of the I'll go back to when I'm like guesting on a podcast. This is the second one I've been on. My first was Moogle Go Round, and I start to get nervous about going on it, and they'll say, "Oh, don't be nervous. It's why would you be nervous with us?" And it's like, well, yeah, but what if I don't know what to say? What if this is the shortest episode you've ever done because I don't know what to say? What if this is the first time they've had to cancel an episode because I've spoiled it? This is just what goes around in my head every time, and God, you're getting it too deep into my psyche. I'm not comfortable with this.
I know, especially on Moogle Go Round, if you ever need something to talk about, just start talking about food.
Yep.
I've deliberately not mentioned food to me. Like
Yeah.
that could that's a spiral right there. Food and drink I've tried to not mention because I don't want to take us on some kind of wild tangent.
That is the Moogle Go Round. It is a podcast about random chicken.
Yeah, if you say
We discussed that last night.
Nando's 3 times in a row, Chili and Paul will break through a wall. Well, Tibiant, do you want to let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure do. I am on Twitter at Tibiant Saltz, and on Twitch I am twitch.tv/Tibiant Saltz as well. But you can find me on Anchor FM / Just Sort of Casual. That's my podcast that I do. It's really good. You should come watch it. We have fun. Listen, in fact.
Or both. You've done some live
Why
episodes.
Not? We have both. I might put them on YouTube one day if I ever.
Then you do all 3.
Yeah. But that's it. That's me.
And we'll make sure that all those links are in the show notes for anyone who is listening at a future date. Susan has been consistently posting them in our Twitch chat as well for anyone who is listening live.
We all need a Susan bot for chat, I think.
We do need a Susan.
Yeah.
We have a Susan.
You do?
Yeah.
Well, if you haven't heard, for us at least anyway, if you're hearing the podcast feed, if you follow us on Twitch and get us to 777 followers by December 31st, 2021, there will be a Kigurumi stream. I will be wearing my Snorlax Kigurumi and stream on here on Twitch. Now, we found out that Quinton also has a Kigurumi. Do you want to sweeten that pot?
Well, we can sweeten the pot, but I don't think that people will get us there.
No.
So that's a call out to all the people.
Come on, guys, you've got to do this.
We're 213 away.
Well, 213. We're inching our way there, slowly but surely. But you can make it happen faster.
Can I follow twice?
Yes.
Probably not.
You can make 213 accounts and follow us on all those accounts.
Here, well, we'll sweeten it a little bit. If we get to 700, I'll reveal which one I have, and if we get to 777, then we'll do our stream.
Boom.
Ooh. Guys, do the follow. Do the follow.
Chili's like, I do follow twice. Saltz Tibiant followed us. Saltz Tibiant followed us. XX Tibiant Saltz XX 420. Also,
Follow not Haas.
Oh, never Haas. Never Haas. We're taking a small holiday break, so there will be content on our podcast feed, but the next live show won't happen until Friday, December 10th, 2021. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. GMT. Are we announcing who's going to be there? I feel like we should announce who's going to be there. Let's see.
No.
No. Susan said yeah. Producer said yes.
Are we supposed?
Producer
All
said
right,
yes.
then. Go for it.
First time ever on Maelstrom Radio, hosts of Gather Together, Ruby Convel and Yelta Sumasu will be here live. That's right, not only for Maelstrom Radio, but possibly a game. So please look forward to it.
So remember, this will be in 3 weeks from this recording. Next week, the 26th, we are off for the American Thanksgiving holiday. And then the following Friday, December 3rd, of course, is Endwalker release. So I hope you, like us, will be enjoying the game.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I just want to say, please, it really, truly enjoy Endwalker. If that's what you're going to be playing, hopefully in a couple weeks, please enjoy the game. You know, if you see us live, come hang out. If you're heading the story or just want to, you know, chat with us, I'm sure we'll be live at some point during that week. So
Susan, our producer from the background, is yelling at us that there is definitely going to be a game on the December 10th show. We have a game show host. We're not supposed to tease these good people, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, I'm not saying that the Warriors of Lust were a bad influence, but
it's good to tickle.
Oh, well, all right then.
With that, all of you Warriors are light out there. Enjoy your Thanksgiving if you're here in the States. If you're not here in the States, enjoy the 2-week break. There will be content out on the feed. We'll see you on December 10th. Please enjoy the game. Don't spoil the game for anybody, but also have a lot of fun. Enjoy Endwalker, and let's all cry in a big circle together, because I'm sure it's going to be an emotional ride for all of us. So enjoy your time with your friends and family. Enjoy the game. We will see you in 2 weeks. 3 weeks. Oh, that's right. 3 weeks. Oh boy. 3 weeks. Oh man, that vacation cannot
I just said it like 30 seconds ago. 3 weeks.
3
Come
weeks.
on.
Listen, I'm telling you again, the vacation cannot get here fast enough. Anyway, as always, till sea swallows all. Keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is brought to you by maelstromradio.com and Blackfire Media. Produced by Flatus, Shintier, and Susan Sprinkle. Join us live Fridays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/maelstromradio. Send email to show@maelstromradio.com, tweet us at maelstrom_radio, or join our Discord at maelstromradio.com/discord. Views and opinions expressed by our hosts and guests do not reflect the views and opinions of any companies discussed on today's show.